You need two parents there. I mean, you know, my kids don't behave that good for my wife. They behave better for me. I mean, everybody knows that's just the natural order of things. And if I wasn't there, I mean, it's not that my wife's a wonderful person, harder working than I am in many respects. It's just, it's a lot to take care of. And imagine if my wife had to work, then the state gets my kids. So that's the goal. And that's a long answer, Shannon, to your question, but they have, and it's also multi-pronged. The globalists always run the same operation 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different ways, knowing that it's like firing 10 torpedoes at a ship. You know, the submarine pops up, floods the tubes, fires. It's a big capital ship. They want to fire every torpedo they've got so that they are sure they, sink the Bismarck or whatever it is. And so they already passed a national ID card under Bill Clinton in 1994, and I covered it in my first film, America Destroyed by Design. It's federally standardizing driver's license. They didn't get around to telling you that until 2006. It's the Real ID Act. Now, though, they're passing separate legislation in banking and in immigration where citizens have to have it, and then the government's in your bank account. And that's in the new legislation where the government is just taking money out whenever they want and tracking every deposit and purchase you make. That's in the banking reform bill. Again, they always create the crisis. Their solution is more power for them. And so, I mean, if they're able to break the border, if they're able to legalize these illegals, because that's the other issue. If illegals want to take the national ID card, they're instantly nationalized. They're instantly, basically given the green card. Makes it very easy. You want it, boom, you got it. But most of them are smart, unlike the American people, because they've had to be more street smart. And I mean, who can even blame these people? They're down there in total squalor and police state. They come up here and the government gives them everything. They know how to manipulate the system, and they are left alone. If a citizen, black, white, whatever, tried to milk the system like this, Hispanic, American, whatever, it'd be over. All right, I said I'd get into the whole racial politic thing, and I haven't got into that yet, but I hope that answers your question, Shannon. What I've been looking for is discrimination lawsuits. In fact, guys, I can't find it. Will you reprint me that Knox News article about $105,000? They pull the illegals over. They're illegal aliens. They don't have visas. They're here illegally. They got $105,000, and they just let them go. They just let them go. And I see this all the time. How does the city of Austin, how does Bank of America take one form of ID, and I've had employees try to go in there, they want 3 forms to get a bank account. Why does Austin Energy ask for 2 forms of ID from a citizen, 1 form from an illegal? And it's a consular matricula that you can literally get out of a Cracker Jack box. They don't even check that. And I've talked to former Austin Energy employees. They've had big fights over it. It's discriminatory. And so the way to go at this, but see, you can't call ICE. ICE won't go pick up these illegal aliens. And if you tried to in Louisiana, the illegals will go burn stuff down, and it won't even be on the news. They'll go, I mean, that's because, again, they've got the full backing of the banks. Now, once they've sewed this country up and broken it and driven down the wages, they're going to fully domesticate the illegals. And they get the added benefit of once the illegals are in the medical system, they take the shots, they do what they're told, so they'll flop around and die of cancer. And the government will pay for the cancer treatment, which will be taxpayer paid for when they kill them with the cancer treatment. So it's just a total system of evil, Shannon. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Sure does, Alex. May I ask you one more question?
Sure.
I refuse to get the national ID card. And I've got a few other listeners here with me that I'm trying to wake up and talk to. If we refuse to get this ID card, I understand it's a felony. But say I walk into a store to buy something. Now, do I have to have this national ID card to
Yes, they're going to have a VAT, a national sales tax. It was officially released by the government 12 years ago, or 13 years ago. Now I got 98, 12 years ago. And so... See, it's all going to be selectively enforced. And again, it's just so evil. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And this health care bill they've got coming out, we're not, if I don't buy that, if I say no to that, I say no to this ridiculous health care bill.
They are going to take it out of your paycheck, seize your bank account, And if you try to, and put you on an arrest warrant list and put you in federal prison.
Bottom line.
But that they've announced it. Yeah, bottom line. And of course, it won't be on the news. It's just, where did Shannon go? He's spending 4 years in the federal pen. He didn't buy the insurance. And if you try to resist, they'll send by SWAT teams that think it's tough and macho to kill Americans, and they'll just gun you down.
So what I've been trying to tell other people, there might be tanks driving up and down the streets here shortly.
Well, they're already giving tanks to every police department in the country and training them to take on Americans. Americans are the enemy. Our government has been seized by offshore banks, and the entire military and police are being trained. We are the enemy.
Y'all hear this? I'm talking to the listeners, too, that's listening. I'm talking with you, and I'm hoping the listeners here are listening to this, too. And I'm doing my best here in Mississippi to wake people up. Alex, you're doing a superb job. I applaud you and your staff. Thank you, sir, and please keep up the good work. I listen to you every day.
Well, God bless you, my friend. I'm going to cover the racial programming in the last 30 minutes. Stewart Rhodes is coming up in 15. Let's just continue with calls right now. Let's talk to George in California. You're on the air, George.
Alex, I have a comment and a question, and they correlate directly with what you've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. I had to kind of write it down because I have bad memory, but okay, so here's how it goes. I'm very proud of my Mexican heritage, but I'm even prouder to be an American. I proudly served in the Navy. I love America. I love the Constitution. The problem with my fellow Hispanics that I see in the news is that they don't know why they're there. They're told by the Spanish radio stations that it's anti-racism and that the people that are against them are racist, and they don't care about them. They don't care about their issues, their families, but Obama loves them, and that they're going to have tamales and burritos and stuff and, music and everything, make it like a festival. And the people are there under false pretenses. They don't know really why they're there. They just know that there's a mob, and, they're going to be seen. It's going to be on the news.
And notice the dominant corporate media, the Spanish media, most of it owned by U.S. and global corporations, and a lot of it owned by big money launderers and drug dealers out of Mexico. That's on record. Notice the Spanish-speaking media, the English media, covers up when they burn stuff, when they attack people, but then they tell Americans, Hispanic, black, white, don't be part of the anti-New World Order movement or you're a racist. They're scared to death of us ever getting together against this. They're scared to death of us ever reaching out to these people. They don't know the Ford Foundation and the federal government taught them about La Raza and Mecha and Aslan and Plan of San Diego and all of this brainwashing. And so, I mean, it is an emergency situation. But I mean, go ahead and make your point. I'm sorry.
All right. My question, though, is on the Arizona law. I mean, I kind of agree with it, but I don't know where I stand on this because what's going to happen, I mean, when I take my wife and my kids to peaceful demonstration and the Fed rallies, Tea parties, what's going to happen when the police look at me and, I look Hispanic and they interpret me as a potential danger? Everybody knows when the police stops you, you don't. It's not a debate. It does, even if you're right, it's not a debate. They're going to tell you how it is. And
well, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Every major city in Arizona has said they're not going to enforce this, and the police are not going to just. And they will have some staged horror stories. When the police corner a Hispanic American, black American, white American, whatever, and violate their rights, it doesn't even make the news. But believe me, you're going to hear the few horror stories that are out there. But, I mean, that's like saying if I go to Mexico to some resort, are they going to arrest me as an illegal alien? No. But if I fit the profile of a Guatemalan sneaking in, they're going to grab me and put me in a political prisoner camp. I mean, Mexico is hardcore on illegals because, they understand their sovereignty, and I'm not even saying that's a good thing. Again, this is all much ado about nothing, like the car bomb. And they're acting like it's the end of the world in Times Square, and we better give all our rights up. It's a bunch of hype. The point is, the Fed, look, the way to enforce this, Arizona's just doing this out of desperation. It's not going to be successful. And it will be a PR nightmare. It already is. The way to enforce it is, the feds all the time go shake old ladies down for, claiming they owe income tax they don't. Or the case of Sacramento, a 4-cent, in fact, pull that up, a 4-cent bill of unpaid taxes from some tax mistake for a car wash. Headline, 4 cents to the IRS, causes armed visit. And they came and yelled at the guy and were very rude to him. So see, be rude to the citizen, be rude to the business owner, keep that scum in line, let them know you're sucking off of them. But because you want the illegals to drive down the wages, red carpet them. So the way to enforce it is you start charging business owners with felonies for hiring illegals, and they're violating tax laws on top of it. Most of the time they're doing it because it's under the table cash. Charge them with tax laws. You do that, you fix the problem. I mean, there's 6 billion plus people that want to come here. And we can't have them all here. And even if we did have them all here, we've got a welfare system.